Live. L-I-V-E.
Live.
It's L-I-V-E.
Fraud alert.
You do have a fraud alert. Look at you.
For my bank.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. It's not
Okay, let's not make fun with that one.
It's not a fun fraud alert.
I mean,
And Gabrielle, I'm sending you this right now.
I have my Netflix account being shut down daily.
From what?
Fraud. Yeah, people, oh, you got to pay your bill. No, I don't.
Oh, she said everything okay. Yeah, we don't see her in the
Who?
Dr. Good.
Oh. We don't show her in
I'm gonna
room.
tell her that's odd.
We don't show her in do
We have
room.
the right thing pulled up, and that sent you Libby's email.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Live from Venture X Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
The crew. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. Welcome to Hump Day and Trumpets.
Trumpets?
That's, well, better than crumpets.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of crumpets, I heard a very interesting conversation this morning.
What conversation was that?
So I was in the loo listening to this conversation.
Okay, so you listened or you were in on the conversation?
No, I was listening. I didn't
Okay.
invite anybody into the loo with
I
me.
was like, okay, that's what my next question was. Who do you feel that comfortable with?
I skipped to the loo, my darling, by myself.
And she says she's here, so.
And so while we're trying to get Dr. Good on, here's the thing, right?
She said recently,
So
please.
Prince Harry has
Yes.
written a book,
He's
a
writing
tell-all.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord
about
mercy.
Prince Harry and the royal life, and that he's not doing this.
Blah,
He may have
blah,
been
blah,
born
blah,
royalty,
blah,
but this is about
blah,
him being a man.
Blah, blah,
Check this
blah.
out. While you blah, blah, blah through me,
Yeah, I'm so over
his
him and
book
his
deal,
wife.
hold on, his book deal is $20 million. His Spotify deal is $50 million. And his Netflix deal is $150 million.
Just so he can trash his
Harry
family.
and Meghan, yeah.
He can trash generations of royals.
Yeah. And then an author came on.
Classy.
I think Glenn Murray or David Murray, something like that, came on from Britain, part of the press corps. And he said, yeah, sure, the press can be, they can kind of get in your business and make things difficult and all that kind of fun stuff. He said, but look at the Queen. The Queen has dedicated her life to the service of the people of Great Britain and to the government of Great Britain. And went on to say that there's never been with the Queen a me attitude. It's always been about the government and about the people
She's all
of
about,
the United Kingdom.
She's all about service. I mean, literally, her whole entire life has been. I think it's the JP and the Kathy and the Crew logo still over our faces. There we go. Thanks, Gabrielle.
I kind of like it.
Not that we mind.
I think it's very fashionable.
Not that we mind.
So anyways.
Well, no, she's always been about service, and
Right.
and not that it's 100% true, but I watched The Crown, loved it, and this is a woman who sacrificed everything. I mean, when you're the king
Correct.
or the queen, that is your end-all be-all gig above being a spouse, above being a parent, above being a grandparent. That is your career. That is your job. That's your gig. You have no private life. Your service is to the crown. That's it.
And that is it. And that's what
Yeah.
she's done. And in her 90s, do you know that Queen Elizabeth does not miss a day at work?
No, I believe it.
She does not miss a day.
I believe it.
She's there every day, and it's always about somebody else and something else, not about herself. So then let's talk about the introverted Harry and Meghan. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, surely you jest.
Yeah, because they want their privacy. They don't want their information to get
and
out.
Come on.
Hey,
Then why do you go on Oprah? Then why, come on. Everything they're doing is about me. I think old Meghan thought she was going to bring her prince back to America. Somebody was going to sign her up and she was going to be the star in some hit show.
yeah.
It ain't happening. She was at a lukewarm B actress at best when she was on that show Suits or whatever it was.
I don't even know what she was on. So how about that grabbing you?
There you go. Well, I didn't even know about the show until she got married to Harry.
Right. So my bottom line is this, is that, yeah, there's none of that going on. They're not being private at all. There's Dr. Good.
There she is.
It's Dr. Rebecca Good. Good morning.
Well, hi guys. Sorry I was in the waiting room waiting, but okay.
We couldn't see you.
We see you now.
For some reason, our waiting room was empty, and we don't know why.
I've been on since 7:57. Anyway,
it's called technology.
So just when you thought it was safe to go to school, right? Thinking you knew the CDC line rule. 2 weeks ago, CDC says, vaccinated kids and staff don't have to wear masks. Now, just yesterday, an article came out from the American Association of Pediatrics. It's a nationwide association, and they want everybody masked. They're saying there are too many kids who are not going to be able to get vaccinated, and so they are seeing that science in their mind works, and that they would like for every child pre-K-12 to go ahead and wear masks when school starts.
Well, and Dr. Good, let me ask you real quick, excuse my ignorance, what age can get shots now? Is it 12 to 17? Have they gone any younger?
No, it's 12 and under now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is 12 and under now. Okay, so.
Not below 2.
Okay, not
below
2. 2 to 12 it has opened up. So, okay, so literally last week, it wasn't everybody was wearing a mask, but now it is. Okay.
Well, of course, COVID is up, right? 83% of the new COVID cases are the deviant mutation thread or whatever. So people are getting spooked again. And so I don't know what schools are going to do. Most districts are back now for staff development, preparation. And it's so hard to prepare to know what to do. On one hand. The other hand, there are lessons learned here as far as cleanliness are concerned. And certainly, if I'm a parent, I'm going to want to talk to the school principal, or at least hear at the school meeting, the new school meeting, about how they're not dropping the COVID protocols of more constant cleaning of the bathrooms, of the door handles, the light switches. Certainly that science of hygiene has sent a message that really works well, especially when it comes to flus and common colds, right? I mean, all of that was much less.
Well, and again, we talked about this, about how many people just aren't sanitary. Like, I don't know. My mom never, it was like, did you wash your hands? And it was in that mom voice where you're like, even if you wanted to say yes, but you didn't, you were going to be busted because she was going to do like under your nail check kind of a thing. And I taught my kids the same thing. It blows my mind how many people don't practice good hygiene like that.
Well, certainly the COVID period was a wake-up call for washing hands frequently, not only after the restroom, but frequently. We've certainly, probably you guys have too, every time I come home from the gym or the store, the first thing I head to now is I wash my hands.
Oh, I don't even.
And people didn't wipe their butts either.
Because nobody was using toilet paper before. Well, literally, I won't even. Now, my dog, she's so sweet. She greets us with a little toy, and she sounds like a little dolphin chirping. And so the first thing you want to do when you come in is pet her. But I'm always like, let Mama wash her hands, because I don't even want to pet my dog with grocery store germs. And that's with me usually using some type of wipe or one from in my car before I even get and touch my steering wheel. And and I understand it's not on surface things, but still I'm like, hey, if it helps me from getting the cold or getting bronchitis or something, rock and roll.
So I guess that's my message is keep an eye on the news, parents, because we don't know between now and the start of school, which is around the second or third week of August, a lot can happen.
Yes.
And there's a lot of talk about 100% masking, of course, continued social distancing, 3 feet. I would, as a parent, want to know and be assured by my school that the cleaning protocols are not going to go away to default back to pre-COVID.
Right.
I think those cleanliness practices need to continue going forward.
Right.
And then, just be smart about all this, right?
Howdy.
Making sure that the kids are washing their hands, and that when we go to crowded places, that we sort of try to do the social distancing of 3 feet. It just has paid off as far as staying well from the other type of sicknesses as well.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Who knows? Again, the ever-changing science of masks. So, and I'd love to have Dr. Clothier answer the question about the mask for me, because I'm still confused. I still see people who want to use the mask as a protection for themselves, but it was my understanding that masks are put on to protect others from our germs, right?
Right.
And so if I'm not sick and I walk into a crowded room, I don't have to put a mask on. What I have to make sure of is if there's a person who's sniffling and sneezing over there, that they really are the ones who need to put the mask on, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Right. That, at least that's, yeah. If at first, I mean, there was so much confusion, but I think what you're saying still stands and rings true, and rings true. And I think Dr. Clothier's even mentioned that it's for somebody else's benefit. I don't know. You know what? But I'm also, like I said, even the places where I can go now where I don't have to wear a mask, if I end up going in a crowded time, like to a grocery store, I'll put my mask down under my chin. If I come, if I go to the cereal aisle and you've got a bunch of kids who are sneezing and crawling all over their mom and they're, all in the aisles, I'll put my mask up. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's just force of habit at this time, or, but
I think it's a psychological thing. I don't,
probably.
Because our masks, they don't keep the germs from coming in.
Yep.
Germs can come in, but our germs can't go out as easily. I guess that's my understanding. But there's a psychological piece to it as far as feeling safer behind the mask.
Right. Yep. Yeah, so it's all about my feelings at this point, and I just want to tell everybody: teach your kids how to wash their hands. Doggone it!
Well,
everybody should be washing their hands.
Use toilet paper to wipe your butt.
What a crazy concept!
I have to keep coming back to that because all the toilet paper disappeared. Interestingly enough, so I've got a friend, and her mother has COVID-19. They thought her father had COVID-19, so they took him to the hospital. He does not have COVID-19. He has influenza B.
So he's got the flu.
He's got the flu.
Okay.
And so here's what I'm starting to see trend. This is not the first.
Did she maybe have the flu?
No, she's okay.
She really has COVID?
No, mom has COVID.
For sure has
Mom
COVID.
tested positive for COVID.
Okay,
Dad
gotcha.
tested negative for COVID.
Interesting.
But what I'm starting to see, because this isn't the first person I've heard say this with people that's in their family, influenza B is starting to make the fight back. We talk about COVID-19 cases soaring. It may be across the country, but in Texas, we're still doing a good job of maintaining and containing COVID-19. In the state of Texas, we have confirmed lab tests for the entire state, 3,319 positives. And so our numbers are still down from what the national average is. And I say national average, when you're looking at California and you're looking at New York, we are still taking care of business and along with side with Florida. And so I think it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how our state government reacts to the federal government's push on whatever they're going to do within our schools. That's what I'm going to be curious to see.
Well, you're right. This article that I was reading talks about how all of this has been so politicized that it's hard to know, what to do, and that in many states, schools will sort of be able to hide behind the politics of masking, because if their state requires masking, then they don't have to make the decision. They'll just go to 100% masking.
Right.
Otherwise, they have. A state like Texas, we have to make the decision district by district. And then you have parents who protest and so forth. So, politics is in everything now, which is why I do my show.
Politics and everything. And when can people see your show to hear about all this politics?
8 o'clock. I'm getting better at my segues, aren't I?
You're great there.
8 o'clock on Sundays, and our topics this Sunday will be, you know how much I like to try to encourage parents to learn how to talk more comfortably with their kids, and we're going to be talking about what kind of things they should be talking about. Sex, consent. Consent is a big one that I'm going to start focusing on. Race. All of those things can be uncomfortable if you haven't established a comfortable talking relationship with your child. And so that'll be one segment. And then the other segment is, if you have a multi-generational family vacation coming up, I'll give you some strategies to maybe keep the vacation from keep it positive and keep it friendly, because oftentimes those multi-generational vacations can turn resentful when not everybody is pulling their weight. So I'll have some strategies.
Interesting. Family dynamics, you say. Well, thanks, Dr. Good. Oh, and congratulations on getting the HOA Yard of the Month. Looks lovely. It looks lovely.
Now, they didn't go around in the back and look in the backyard, right?
Actually, I'll send you a picture. The backyard's not bad either.
Anyway, I'm talking about that beekeeping hobby that you're doing that may be a little under the radar.
Well, the home here in Allen is not, it does not have a beehive. And it would be really hard to have one since I am literally 10 feet from the next house.
Oh, yeah. Somebody would notice. Well, congratulations. It looks great.
You know what's interesting? You say that, though. Bees are okay to have in Allen. Did you know that?
Well, I hadn't started investigating. I just, I don't know that I want to take on the neighborhood fight.
Right.
I take on a lot of causes. Some are actually winnable, but I don't know that one would be worth the time.
That might not be a user-friendly situation. Well, thanks, Dr. Good. We appreciate you.
Have a blessed day, Dr. Good.
All right, guys.
Well,
you too. Talk later.
Bye.
And real quick, JP.
Yes.
Missy Drew, who's on our feed this morning, we want to wish her the best of luck and have the crew pray for her. She has her breast cancer surgery tomorrow. I'll be keeping people updated on her Facebook as the day progresses. She also has a GoFundMe link that you can go help her out. Unfortunately, with missing work because of her breast surgery, she has lost her job, so we're trying to help her out right now. Melissa, if you could drop that GoFundMe link into our comment section, that would be great. She concurs, say that again 10 times fast. She concurs with you. Not only was she tested 3 separate times yesterday in preparation for her breast cancer surgery tomorrow at the hospital, so 3 times throughout the day.
Right.
Also tested for
influenza B. Yeah.
She said that, so she had 6 tests in total in 24-hour arena yesterday. 3 for COVID, 3 for influenza B. So it looks like that's, obviously there's an issue there if they're testing for that now before you go and have surgery.
Well, and I'll tell you, that's where you have to use the Lysol wipes, the Clorox bleach sprays, because on surfaces, and that was going to be my point.
Yeah.
COVID, you don't really catch on surfaces.
Right, but everything
But influenza
else,
B, you do.
Yeah,
So.
and at that point, it's better safe than sorry. The flu, and that's why, trust me, and we've had, friends and family friends who have passed from COVID, so I'm not taking it any more lightly than anything else. But, I mean, look how sick I was year before last. I got, had the flu shot, still got strain A and strain B.
Right.
With one, I got bronchitis. With the other, I got pneumonia. So it's the flu's a scary thing.
Yeah.
The flu's a scary thing.
It
so
certainly is.
Yep. Just be safe.
All right. And since we're doing announcements right now,
We have a special birthday girl.
We do.
Yes.
16 years of age, already flown a plane. So, I mean, what's that do for driving a car? I mean, if you have flown
Yeah,
a plane
it's-
already, I mean, like,
it's
that's
kinda
be
like
like, yeah, okay.
Don't you like go in and show the person who's doing your test your pilot's,
Pilot's license,
or
right.
something? Be like,
Really?
you know what?
Do I really need this?
Did you want to see a picture of me flying a plane?
Yeah, here's
the
my
other
picture.
day?
Yeah, here we go. Don't you wish? You do wish. You're thinking about it. I can see that. You know, and also what's kind of funny, I could look at her. I can see her now going to her mom and going, look, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Seriously,
If it's
Mom.
not an Acura like A44 or a
with a V8 engine.
yeah,
Thanks,
or
but no thanks.
yeah, if it's not a Corvette with
I
like
don't-
1,500
I don't
horsepower.
Think, I don't think Michelle raises those girls
Yeah.
that way. They're like, oh,
She doesn't.
I've got something to drive. Thank you, ma'am.
So, but happy birthday.
Yeah, yay,
16
birthday
is such a
blessings.
fun birthday.
That's
And
awesome.
so,
That's just so
Mia,
cool.
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday,
birthday, dear Mia. Happy birthday to you. Boom.
And many more.
On Channel 4. Oh, yeah, I got to do these hand things. I don't think I do them right. I think I look like I've had bad medication.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Have I had bad medication? I may have had bad medication. All right, we're going to have Congressman Van Taylor joining us this morning, and we're going to be talking a little Korea. Some interesting
Your favorite topic.
Well, yeah, I love North Korea. One of my favorite things, though, is that we are trying to connect families from the United States to families in North Korea. So, and not just any families, but North Korean families who have lost touch. Now,
Oh,
that's kind of a
interesting.
a curious thing. Don't know that I'm a fan when you've got your family in a state-controlled country, being able to talk to a family in the United States. So, anyways,
Interesting.
but we've got Van Taylor joining us now, and I love the way he comes on.
Oh, he's so good.
Like I anticipate this. I do.
He's our only guest over the years who's ever done that, and we
Yeah,
love it.
and we love it. That's because he's
It's his thing.
fantastic.
Yes.
I love that. I'm going to make him a 4x4 sign that says "Re-elect Fantastic Congressman Van Taylor."
I'm fantastic.
Hold on, not you can't like
JP's going with fantastic.
yeah, fantastic Congress re-elect fantastic.
Somebody from his
Van
campaign just
Taylor.
made a note. Call JP today. Talk about 4x4s.
Yep. Well, in JP for JP. So are we able to get the, or we're still trying to connect the audio, it looks like. Is that right? He's trying to connect audio. Very good. So with that being said, though, it is interesting that we're trying to create this way for North Korean families that are in the United States to connect with North Korean families back home. Again, not a fan of that because that Kim Jong-un can do this with a button, kaboom, and their internet is shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Electricity, kaboom, one button. They don't have any electricity.
Well, yeah, and remember that map we showed years ago
Right.
on the radio? That we showed years ago on the radio. Well, we showed to the people who were watching on social media, and we talked about it, where there's just a whole chunk of North Korea that just goes black at night. I mean, you don't have a choice. You are dark at a certain time.
And it looks like the Hunger
You're right.
Games.
That's just a boom. Yes, it
Looks
does.
like the Hunger
Yep.
Games. We've got video. Do we have audio? Good morning, Congressman. We do have audio. So we can hear him. We can see him. Can he hear us? He just muted himself.
Unmute yourself,
No,
sir.
he's being technical.
Oh.
That's his being technical look.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
There we go. Bam! I love it. All right, here we go. I love that.
And there you go.
You look like you're having technology.
I cannot hear you guys.
Oh, he can't hear us.
That may be on his side. Yeah, that's not good. That'll be on his side, yeah. So, while Van's getting that
While
ready
we're
to go.
dancing.
But, North Korea reminds me of the Hunger Games. If you've ever, there are very few pictures you get to see inside. But
That
inside.
aren't propaganda and aren't staged.
Right.
I mean, come on.
But they
yeah.
have big screens. I mean, I'm not talking like this on the wall here. I'm talking about like in the Hunger Games, standing 60 to 80 feet high in the air, where their citizens are being monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Can you hear me?
We can hear
we
you.
can hear you. You won't be able to see us because of the way we have the studio configured, but can you hear us?
Okay. So It's almost, I don't know if you remember, but China had come up with a technology where they could monitor all of their citizens through face identification software. Remember we talked about that? That if you had committed a bicycle offense and you're standing on the corner, you're not getting away because a camera will identify who you are and alert the Chinese police to come and arrest you because you have a bicycle infraction that you haven't taken care of.
Good night. Can we hear him now, maybe?
Can you hear us, Congressman Taylor? I love that face. That was great. Can you hear us? We could hear you. We can see you. Are you texting them to let them know?
Yeah, I'm texting right now. Maybe should you go back out and come back in?
Suggest that by text, maybe? Is it on our end, Chambriel?
Oh, no, it's not on our end.
Okay. Okay. 2 people entered the waiting room. Do you have more people coming? Oh. So,
The microphone.
We can hear him.
no. Congressman
Good
Taylor,
morning,
can you hear us?
Good morning. Good morning.
We can hear
We can
you,
hear
and we
you.
love that.
Just,
Leave the meeting and then.
I did.
Tell them we can hear them and we can see them. All right. On also the agenda, once we get this technical issue worked out, FPBJ versus FMA.
Yes.
And we will do the reveal
On that.
And so stay tuned for that. That's going to be a debate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And then we're going to also tackle the NFL. That's right. You heard me right. The NFL. I think that at this point, we have finally gone too far for me, and I don't think I can come back.
I
don't even think I can report on it this next year. And so I may lose Michelle as a listener.
Well, and it's so sad because, we've always been such big, such big fans, I mean, I've been diehard Cowboy fan since the 70s, and it's just, the NFL is going so, and we talked about it with Dr. Good, how folks get too competitive, too political in other situations. I watch sports, have watched sports for an escape. Stressful week. Hey, it's great to unwind with some baseball, basketball, football, whatever on the weekends. But when everything becomes politicized, I do that during the day for a living. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
It's like, why? If I watch a movie, if I listen to music, if I watch a sporting event, it's because I want escapism.
Right. Well, it's like when I went and saw Dr. Dolittle 2 or 3, where the message was save the furry creatures in the forest kind of thing from
She's waiting to
deforestation.
be let back in.
Who's that?
Libby's telling me
Oh.
what fans doing.
And so it's like, I go to the movies to watch a movie.
Yes.
I don't need you to try to tell me how I should think. With currently how the Democrats are running things, though, and the president included, they want to be able to tell social media.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Can you hear us?
Can't hear you guys.
Shoot. Well.
Are you telling them we can hear you?
Yeah.
We can hear you. We can see you.
We can hear and see him loud and clear, too.
Yes. Very loud and very clear.
Marvin, I can see and hear everything.
Marvin, you can hear and see everything.
Oh, and yeah, the weekend series between the Astros and the Rangers. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've missed having a, 4th or 5th shutout in a row last night, the Rangers did. So,
Yeah, well, Altuve is going to come here and hit 42 home runs in that series. He's going to average 10 home runs a game. Oh, help me. While we're doing this too, interestingly, yesterday, I get on a tractor.
She still can't hear or see us.
Well, I can turn the camera on.
Well, but
The mic is just fine.
it's just,
So they may need to, I don't know if they have anything plugged into the audio port.
yeah.
Like user.
Okay, shoot. Okay.
So, anyways, yesterday, while Kathy's trying to figure this out, so for those who don't know, my dad and I, we've bought a 34-acre farm. It's a horse farm up in Aubrey, Texas. And had to buy new equipment. So went out and bought a John Deere 4044M. I'm impressed by that. I don't know why. And then I bought an MX6, not a gun. That is a brush hog that I pull behind me. And then, of course, I've got to have my hay spear and I got to have my bucket, right? So I didn't realize, or I forgot, I guess. So I get out in the field yesterday about 12:30, and I start mowing. And I didn't get out of the field until 5:30, 5:45, because I'd finally gotten too hot. When the sun was starting to set, it didn't feel like 88, 89 degrees anymore. It felt like 110,000 degrees. And I had forgotten how much, because of course, the field is not a well-paved road. So you're right.
Oh, I think she said she can hear us now.
Oh, can you hear us now?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Good morning. Woo!
It just wasn't going to be the same if we couldn't talk to our own Congressman Van Taylor.
And I love good morning, good morning, good morning.
I know.
And I've already cheered it like 10 times. So good morning. Sorry about that, Congressman Taylor. I'm glad we're able to go back and forth now.
I think that was on my end. So, yeah, I'm glad we got that fixed.
Yay.
So,
good morning.
And I don't know that we put this out there, but I know I've asked you this question, and I just wanted you to give us an update. Are there any coffees coming up or times to get to meet you or Zoom calls that people can join in on? What's going on in the district?
Sure. Well, we're still doing 100% meeting policy. So anybody that wants to set up a meeting, and we're doing that by phone call, we're doing that by Zoom call, and we are doing those in person. So depending on how you want to do it, we're certainly willing to sit down. Last Congress, I had 850 separate meetings with constituents.
Wow.
And we're on track right now, I think, to have about 500 meetings this year. So maybe we'll break 1,000. Kind of.
There you go.
Love it.
Now I do.
And the impressive part is not that Van Taylor, Congressman, will meet with his constituents. The impressive part is I have so many great people that want to sit down and tell me what's important to them. And I'm really grateful for their advocacy. And some it's just, you'd be amazed how many moms want their children to meet their congressman awesome. Find out about the process and learn about it. So, and actually to that end, Congressional Youth Advisory Council, we're still accepting applications. So if you want to be part of that, by all means, let us know. That's for high school students that want to learn about civics.
So fantastic. And so the CDC protocols, I know that those are federal offices unless they're in your campaign office, right? Is a campaign office a federal office?
No.
Okay. So are the federal guidelines on COVID-19 enforced in federal offices, congressional offices?
So that's a great question. I think the quick answer to that is not necessarily.
Okay.
It's up to the office if they want to do that or not. So generally speaking, the legislative branch doesn't like the executive branch to tell it what to do. So the legislative branch generally exempts itself from legislative branch generally exempts itself from stuff the executive branch enforces.
And that's
one of the separation of powers things.
That's what I kind of figured. I kind of figured it was like, yeah, we'll think about it, but we're going to still be us because we're elected by our people in our district. Talking about being elected and being in the district, what is going on with Korea? What are we doing and how are we going about it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I got a bill as the Republican co-lead on a bill that got through the House of Representatives yesterday, HR 826, and it's a bill that's asking the State Department to work on reunifying Korean families that were split by the war. Obviously, you have another winning socialist regime there in North Korea, right there with the socialist regime in Cuba. And there's socialist regime in China. So you got these winning combinations over there of socialism. And the North Koreans, unfortunately, have a lot of split families. Families are split by the Korean War, which ended with the armistice in 1953, and those families, many of them have not been able to reunite, or maybe they met, in the 90s or in the 80s, and haven't been able to meet since. And so this is a bill that's trying to reunify Korean families. And many Koreans have migrated to the United States, and they still have family left back in socialist North Korea.
So how would that work? How does the bill set up the groundwork to where the State Department would be able to get into North Korea and reunify those families?
Well, what it does is it requires the Department of State to work with South Korea and North Korea. And obviously the United States has a big role in South Korea. We still have a substantial military presence there, which has actually kept the peace. If you think about the conflict, which has simmered once in a while. And so having an American presence there really puts us in a position to advocate for the reunification of families, which is just the right thing to do from a humanitarian point of view.
And so the nuts and bolts of that, will that get worked out in the bill, or will the State Department have room within that bill to create the nuts and bolts?
So what it does is it mandates the State Department to make this a priority, and it requires the U.S. envoy to North Korea from South Korea to actually work with the Koreans, North Koreans and South Koreans, to work on the reunification issue and to really put it to the forefront. More than anything, it's a signal from Congress that it matters to us and that it's an issue that's important because we have people right here in Collin County who have family members that are trapped in socialist North Korea.
So how did this get on your radar?
Well, like anything, JP, I mean, I have constituents that come to me and say this is important. And so I started working on the issue. And Grace Ming, a congresswoman from New York City, was working on this. And we started talking about it. And this bill really came from her efforts. And so I was glad to work with her to sign on to get something done, which is the right thing to do for my constituents and for hers.
You know, and that's what I wanted people to hear, the responsiveness. It's not just come visit with me. It's not that I just meet with everybody. I actually will listen to you and then start moving things forward to try to make things happen for my constituents. Thank you for that, Congressman Taylor.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've said it many times. You've heard me say it many times, but some of my very best bill ideas have come from the people that I work for, which is why I try to avail myself to them. I mean, it's a collaborative experience, and I honor the Constitution, and every American has 5 rights guaranteed by the First Amendment, and probably the least well known of those 5 rights, because everybody knows the freedom of press and freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom to assemble, but the freedom to petition, right? the 5th right in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, the right to petition is a constitutional right, and I will ensure that people have the ability to exercise the right to petition, and that's why I take the time to sit down and meet with everybody.
You know, as we're getting ready to start school, and I know nobody prepped you for this, but this just kind of came to my mind when Dr. Good was on earlier. Are we going to see mandates, do you think, come out of the federal government saying that kids that aren't vaccinated have to wear masks, or teachers not vaccinated will have to wear masks? Or are we going to allow the states to handle this?
And forgive me, the bells are actually telling me that Congress is going to start in 15 minutes, just to make it really realistic. So it sounds like I'm really in my office.
Right.
You don't want to be tardy.
But the answer, you know, what the CDC has been doing has been giving guidelines and then allowing that to be implemented at the state and local level. I think you're to continue to do that. What I will say, and just to kind of give you kind of a thought about as we restart our economy, we are still in the process of restarting our economy. And so one thing that, there are, somewhere, a quarter, a third of the school children in the United States didn't get back to school last year. Fortunately, that's not true for most of the kids in Collin County, but for some of them, they didn't go to school last year, physically going back to school. And so having in-person schooling, that's going to restart in earnest in the fall. And another thing that you're going to see is a lot of major employers have still not let a majority, and sometimes in some cases, none of their workforce is back in the office. I think that's going to start in earnest in the fall. So, and then I think business travel is going to begin in earnest in the fall. So I think you're going to see a whole bunch of other steps for restarting the economy continue to take place. And that's going to continue to have a distillative experience for us as Americans, right? So we're seeing, we're seeing all kinds of restart hiccups this summer. I think we're going to see even more in the fall as we continue to restart our economy.
Yeah, I know that. I know students here in Texas were excited to get to go back as an option. I know that we face a lot of challenges coming back with our students who may experience anxiety or mental health issues, and so I just know I think everybody's ready to get back in the classroom and not have to worry about a lot of politics, I think, in the classroom. And so thank you for that update, Congressman Taylor, on that as well.
Definitely. And so anything, we know there's a couple of deadlines coming up, in particular for your Congressional Youth Advisory Council. When is the deadline on turning that in, and when does that class start?
I think the deadline is August 4th.
Okay. I knew it was coming up pretty soon.
And then it begins in September. Last year we had 6 classes, and I think there were 4 were Saturdays and 2 were evening classes. And so it's a great chance for students to learn about government, right? So we'll one of the classes is time with me to learn about the federal government and the congressional process, and then we have classes, with mayors. We actually brought in people to talk about the pandemic response. We brought in county health department, state health and human services department to talk about the pandemic response. Talk with school board members, talk with city council members. We had a class around the judiciary, right? So we brought in a federal district court judge, a state district court judge to talk about the differences in the judiciary, talk to a prosecutor. And then we had a really great class where we brought in actually a bunch of the legislators from Collin County to talk about how the state legislature works. And then I was able to kind of say, well, the state legislature does this and Congress does that. And so I got a lot of really positive responses from kids on that one. So, and actually I've been corrected. It's not August 4th. It's August 5th.
August 5th,
is the deadline.
And people can go to your website, and they can, first of all, and they can also go to your website, sign up for email alerts, information, because I know I get tons of great information that I disseminate to friends and family from what you send out. So anything anybody wants to be part of.
Come in handy. I will tell you, during a Winter Storm Uri, we sent out an email alert saying, hey, power may not be on for a couple days. We recommend that you turn off if you have no power, turn off the water to your house, drain your pipes the best you can. And I actually had 2 constituents say, you know what, if it wasn't for your email, I wouldn't have done any of that, and I would have had burst pipes everywhere.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, well, somebody got the email and somebody read it, and it saved somebody a ton of money, time, and effort to not have busted pipes. So you never know when that information is going to come in handy, but we'll definitely do everything we can to get you as much information, and you never know what it's going to be on, right? So, I mean, if signing up for that email, I don't think they would have ever thought he's going to give me great advice when there's a winter storm striking.
Boy.
But anyway, I was glad.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole other day.
A whole other topic for a whole other day. But just what I'm saying on the email alerts is that if you sign up for those, we will get you information. And some of these stuff like kayak, and if you don't have kids, that may not apply to you. But it might be about Winter Storm Uri, and if you have pipes in your house and you have power, that definitely applies to you.
Absolutely. Hey, Congressman Taylor, next Wednesday, will you be joining us again?
Yes, I'm going to try to join you next Wednesday.
Okay. If you go to the State Fair of Texas, we want to know your favorite fair food. So I'm going to let you think on it. You don't have to make a quick decision because there's a lot of fair food out there.
This is a big important
This is a big decision.
This is huge.
Whether we reunite North Koreans or not is not as important as your favorite fair food. This isn't like passing a national
budget. This is serious stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you guys always ask the hard questions.
Well, we do. So, this is the state of Texas. This is big Tex.
Yeah, we've got like a brisket brittle this year. There's all kinds of crazy foods out there this year. So next Wednesday, your favorite state of Texas fair food, because the state of Texas fair is back. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So, but we're going to let you get out of here. We know you've got the people's work to do, and we can't thank you enough for coming on, JP, Kathy, and the crew, and making yourself available to all the crew members. Thank you, Congressman Taylor.
Great
Have
to
a
be with
blessed
y'all.
week.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, take care. Have a
Bye-bye.
blessed week.
And then Libby from his staff has posted in here information about how to get signed up for kayak if you're interested. Just these folks they've got so much great information on the website. The website's extremely user friendly. Highly recommend that you sign up for alerts and emails and things of that nature. Just good stuff. And we appreciate the good work that the congressman is doing. Not an easy gig in D.C.
Not an easy gig.
Unless you're a Texas Democrat from the state house.
And then
there
you can
go.
spread COVID
And there
to
you
our
go.
vice president and her staff.
And there you go. Good times.
I got to send him a thank you card.
And you're welcome.
Moron.
Okay, so FPBJ and FMA.
Versus FMA.
What the heck?
All right, here we go. We're launching our State Fair of Texas Food Challenge. What is your favorite food at the State Fair? So, fried peanut butter and jelly sandwiches versus a fried margarita.
The fried margarita, I never tried any of their fried drinks. Fried drinks just seems too weird. I guess the closest I've come to something that's not a complete solid would be butter.
That's way
I've
good,
done
by the way.
fried butter,
That's way good.
but
way
But
good.
fried margarita. But have you done a fried margarita?
No, I haven't done a
'Cause
fried margarita.
You'll drink a margarita from time to time.
I will.
If it's a really good one.
I will. In fact, I might go from the show and have one.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
he's going to either work or work on farm equipment.
Yeah, I'm going to work.
And neither one of those allow you to drink. So, I know this year they've got the fried ranch water, which ranch water is a drink, is an alcohol.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, why would you fry ranch water?
Well, it's a drink that has like the really super fizzy, like Topo Chico or something.
Oh, Topo Chico.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was
really
what?
super carb.
Isn't that Adam
carbonated
Sandler's
water.
thing? I thought that was Adam
I don't know.
Sandler's thing.
It's a
Chico.
drink, and then they put
Or something like
they put
that.
tequila in it and some kind of spice in it or something. So I guess they're gonna have a fried version of that this year. I've never done, like I said, the fried drinks don't appeal to me. Fried peanut butter and jelly, on the other hand, one of my favorite things that my dad made for us when we were little growing up, and that I made for my kids. I love fried peanut butter and jelly because it just melts all the peanut butter and jelly all together. It kind of seals it in, making my mouth water.
Right.
There you go. So you're not a fried margarita person, then you've never even tried it.
No, and Coach says green face yuck.
Oh.
So I think he's tried it.
Oh, okay. So then he's been there. What was the one a couple of years ago? And we actually saw you out at the fair that year. What was the drink? Was it? It was like Kool-Aid with a pickle
Yes.
or something like
Something
that,
like
or
that.
like
Yeah.
a Kool-Aid pickle sangria or something. Because I remember that being good.
Yeah.
I liked the pickle.
Yeah, you did. I was
Except
like,
it
not
was
about
really
it.
pink because it had been in the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I wasn't about it.
Yeah,
You were about it.
I liked that.
But
I
the
liked
fried
that.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm all about.
Love fried
And I
peanut
think
butter
Michelle
and jelly.
said bacon with margaritas. Yeah, bacon margarita.
Oh, interesting.
But Coach Quigley said fried margaritas were nasty.
Okay, yeah,
See, the fried PB&J, I love it.
Oh,
They do a great job.
It's great.
They do a great job.
And I haven't had it at the fair.
Oh, you have to have it.
I've had.
It's tremendous.
Oh no, it's fried peanut butter and jelly, and they're like in little bites.
No. This is a
This
sandwich.
is a full.
Yeah, and they put a
full-on
little powdered
sandwich.
sugar on it.
Well,
and
then what was it
no.
that? What was it that I tried that was in small bites, and you would dip it into like powdered sugar or something? What fried thing was that?
There's a lot
years
of.
ago?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, get in line.
But yeah, so
Get in
today
line.
though is PBJ versus the fried margarita.
Well, I'm always going to go with.
I'm
the
going with the
PBJ.
fried PB&J
I'm gonna
as
go with
well.
the fried PBJ.
Amazing.
I'm not a fried drink person.
You know what's funny? I go to the fair and I'll buy $100 worth of food tickets, right? Or the tickets, the tickets, right?
Yeah.
And I always end up giving about $20 to somebody walking in the fair.
Oh, yeah, when you're leaving.
Yeah.
We always overbuy. And so we're walking out and we're like, do y'all want some coupons? You know,
Yeah.
because we always end up having too many, or you have an odd number and you would have to purchase more to do another ride or to do another, eat something else. And so we're like, you know what, if it's an odd number and it's not going to get us anything, give it to somebody on the way out, pay it forward.
So Michelle says definitely the PBJ.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Coach says definitely not the fried margarita.
And he said, he did say fried Twinkies were good the last time we were there. You know what's funny? I've never tried the fried Twinkie, and that's been like the biggest. Fried Twinkies were like a really big deal a while back.
See, I'm only getting like every one of his other comments. I'm not getting all of his comments.
Oh,
because I don't have my computer today. I'm using the phone.
I've never tried the
fried Twinkie. I haven't either, but it's got to be wonderful.
See, I'm such
I did the fried Oreos.
Okay, see now I'm not a fan of Oreos.
Way good.
So
too bad.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
I'm such a creature of habit. Literally, first thing we get when we go to the fair, even when we would take the kids when they were little, and it was like a Sunday morning. Fletcher's corny dogs for breakfast, everybody.
Yes.
Like I said, that's the only time of the year you can still be considered a good mom if you feed your child fried corny dogs for
Elizabeth
breakfast.
says, can you explain the fried margarita? Coach?
Yeah, somebody
I'm gonna
help
let you
us out.
explain
So
that.
is it like
They deep fry it. They fry
so
it.
they take? But how do
They put it in something and they fry it.
they put it in like a container? Fry
No.
the liquid?
No. Like inside of a dough or something like that, and they fry it like they do the butter.
Okay.
It's got a housing.
Yeah, it's gonna have something.
Yeah, but no thanks.
Yeah, I gotta hear that.
So
And
Coach can
I
tell
think-
us though.
I think that fried ranch water is going to be the same kind of concept then this year. We've got JP and I have the latest list of all of the different fair foods. I mentioned some of them. I think it was last Friday on the show.
And we'll be going through.
Yeah, we'll be going through the list because brisket brittle is one of the things on there, and I'm like, and I love peanut brittle, like cashew brittle. I like peanut brittle that even has jalapeno flavoring in it. I don't know how you go with the meat. I don't know.
Michelle says the line kills her for the corn dogs. That's why I go early in the morning.
Oh,
My corn dogs are breakfast corn dogs.
That's why it's got to be for breakfast because the line
Fried margarita is puke
ridiculous.
fried so you can puke. That's funny.
So obviously, Coach did not like the fried margarita.
He did not. Talking about being brittle, I'm getting brittle about the NFL. I am done. They ran a commercial the other day. Well, here's what's hilarious. They ran a commercial. Anything that is woke, they have running on this list that they support. And so I'm looking forward to the first transgender quarterback.
So is
in
there,
the NFL.
So there's a list.
They have a list. They do this running
explain the
list.
commercial because I haven't seen this commercial.
So it's the NFL. We're all inclusive. We love everybody. Here's who we support, right? And it's in red.
We support our team.
It's in red. And it just starts listing lesbians, homosexuals, transgenders.
And we're not saying we're against
No,
people
not at
or-
all.
I mean,
not at
that's
all.
not the case
This
at
is what the
all.
NFL is saying.
But again, I don't need the NFL to tell me what I accept and what I don't.
I mean, there's a list of, I don't know, like 40 or 50. I don't know if, Chambriel, can you find that commercial where it's this all-inclusive, we love everybody commercial? Anyways, that's when I was like, I'm done. It's not that you accept all of these people and all their ways. It's the fact that you're making it a part of your campaign. It's like, I get politics from news, Sunday morning.
It's
I get my
everywhere.
politics from other places. When I watch the NFL, I want to watch football. That's what I'm going to the NFL for.
Again, it's escapism, and you love, and
Right.
you've been a hardcore
Hardcore,
follower.
oh,
I mean,
Lord.
you get all the fantasy football magazines, and you've got all, JP's got his stats going and all this stuff. You're watching, you're listening, all this kind of stuff to multiple games. You do that for an escapism. If you want politics, if you want political correctness, all you have to do is sign on to social media.
Right.
Which, boy, I've gotten to where the algorithm knows for me on, I've even got friends who are like, how'd you not get my post? Because the only posts I end up liking or commenting on have to do with God and puppies.
Did you find it, Chambriel?
Oh.
All right. So here, football is. Here you go. Football is gay. Football is lesbian.
Is it playing on our screen? Yeah, let's get it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see this. I mean, I'm just not a fan. I don't understand. Oh, that's not the one. But go ahead and put that up if you can. Go ahead and put that. Run that again for them. That's not the one.
That's not the one you're
well,
talking
but
about.
it's a precursor to what is bigger.
Okay.
I don't understand why football is any of this.
Well, just
Why isn't football
how about
just football?
That my thing is, why isn't football just football? Baseball's baseball, basketball's basketball, hockey's hockey, soccer is soccer, and you just
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
Everybody's trying to outstatement the other sports franchise or sports arena. Like, basketball's trying to be more woke than football, and football's trying to be more woke than hockey or whatever.
Right.
Why can't we just say football or football is everything? Okay, because trust me, I know people who literally that they live and breathe for football for NFL season. I don't like politics shoved down my throat by a sports, by a sports entity.
Well, and then I want to know how it is the NFL has declared that there is a second anthem.
Oh, yeah. So when was this? Was this a preseason game or something?
Well, I don't know. No, they're saying that they're going to play it. They're going to play the black anthem and the national anthem at every game.
But if we're one country, why don't we have, because then, okay, do we have a female anthem, a male anthem, a transgender anthem, a dog anthem, a cat anthem? Again, if we're America and everybody says we just all want to be one and we want everybody to love everybody, but we're doing the opposite of that. We're saying, no, this group gets more love today and this group gets more love today and this group gets more love today. Again, we're one nation under God, period. End of sentence. Leave it at that.
Well, and again, where does the NFL get off declaring that there is a second anthem?
But there is one national anthem. That's it.
That's it.
Period.
But not anymore. Not in the NFL.
This would have to go through. This would have to be an act of Congress, literally.
Well, you would think.
in order to declare that there is another national anthem. Which again, that's just crazy. So, what are we going to have a second flag? And what's next?
Maybe divide the country up.
Well, and at that point, Texas, let's see.
Time to opt out.
Yeah, time to use the opt-out plan.
Time to opt out.
We break into 5 of our own states. I mean, just at some point, when does it stop? And when somebody just stand up and say, we are one, we are America. I tell you what, you know who gets that right now? Cubans. Because what's the main thing that they're waving when they're shouting and begging for liberty and freedom? They're holding an American flag, so why can't Americans love our flag that much?
Right. Well, and here's
anthem.
What's interesting, and I'm going to bring this full circle. I think it's definitely hurt our athletic prowess on the international stage. USA basketball is losing right and left. USA women's soccer lost to Sweden.
We did? We
did. I believe that's what we did. I think that's what Coach said on here. It said list, but I'm assuming that meant lost.
Okay.
But they're our Olympic team though, right, Coach? Isn't that USA basketball? I know the Olympics Olympics haven't started yet. I know that. But if I'm not mistaken, we have lost. USA basketball has lost to Nigeria.
Yeah, the prep
and
games.
We lost to, I can't remember, we lost to somebody else. I don't know that preparing for the Olympics by losing is a good idea. I know you can learn a lot from losing, but I don't remember USA basketball with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird losing a single game.
Well, again, in America, we associate America with winning, with being number one. And we've always been, we're number one kind of a thing. Now it's almost, again, it's the thing where people are afraid to be patriotic. It's like we are afraid to have pride for our country. And the day that starts happening, which it's already happened, is a very sad day, because we should, God and country. What's wrong with God, country, and family? What is wrong with that?
Well, and that's where the breakdown happens. So with that being said, we're breaking this show down and moving us into Friday.
So we'll talk some more sports on Friday, because we've got NBA and at some point, you know what? And this is really sad, because when we were doing radio 5 days a week, you always had a big old sports section.
Right.
You love sports. I love sports.
Right.
You're into all the stats. You can tell who's on first, who's on this, that, and the other. and it's gotten to where it's really kind of tough for us to talk about it. And
Well, I was
and
talking
if
to
you're the
Joni.
ultimate fan, that's a sad day.
I was talking to Joni Pickle.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing a college fantasy football league.
Ooh. Oh, that would be fun.
It would be fun. Although I'm not real
Okay.
happy with some of the college
I was
players
going to say
right
some
now,
of the
but
college stuff that's going on.
but
That's, yeah.
I'm thinking
Okay.
about doing something along those lines.
Okay, and Joni will be in there. She's with us on all of our fantasy leagues.
Right. And so we want to make sure we remember Missy in our prayers, right?
Yes, Missy. Yeah, and then
Steve Meeks
is gonna
is
have
going to have
upcoming
surgery
surgery
as
as
well.
well.
So he in our
Yeah.
prayers.
Yep, definitely.
And then happy birthday, Mia.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you on Friday. Have a
y'all.
blessed week.
Have a blessed one.